you saw 30-year-old women that were mature, that had careers already and lives already and married already. I saw that as well. So now what I'm saying is
what they look like now.
Life has changed where the average 30-year-old woman does not mature that same way. We're both saying the same thing.
Okay, but
you're telling me it's unfair to assume.
But
it's not an assumption.
But you're also saying that being that women these days aren't like the woman you've seen growing up, that you're still expecting them to be.
I'm not expecting anything. I never said anything about expectation.
What you did say was that
I said,
see what these guys aren't understanding is what they're doing is they're forcing all this new relationship crap on you, and then they're gaslighting you into taking this new form of dating that you don't have to. It's only here in the West. You don't have to sit here and conform to whatever they're doing with this bastardization of dating in general. So it's being flipped on its head, and I don't think these women understand how funky they look. Like arguing with men about what they want and how we want to move, they don't know how funky they look. I can't put it into words like unattractive or ugly. I'll get flagged, but funky is just as bad. Like that sums it up. You look funky. Like I don't know how else to put. You look fun. You have all that shit on and the makeup, but you still look funky. It's funky because of what the words that are coming out of your mouth, the way you're trying to mentally manipulate someone while looking like what he would find attractive, which is kind of like witchcraft. You just look funky. It just comes off funky to me. I don't know why. It just comes off funky.
They are not mature these days, so therefore I am not entertaining them. That's what I said.
So come developed.
Let's take this.
Child.
But
okay.
I mean, let's get on the same page here. I mean, like I said, I don't, even if I do, let's say I do assume, right?
Okay.
Because that's what I saw growing up, right?
Right.
If I assume and I see things that does not fit that characteristic, I'm not sticking around. I'm not doing it. And no, you can't wrong me for not sticking around because you still think you 22.
Let's just be real about what the facts are. The facts are is that it's a Western thing. It's very much
but there's women from other ethnic groups that are getting married at younger ages in the Western Hemisphere.
Well, you got to think about it. Let's say your parents are your first gen. Let's say you're first gen.
Mm-hmm.
You've lived your parents have lived half of their lives here. You lived your entire life here.
Mm-hmm.
So you've taken on a lot of whatever your indigenous culture is, right?
Mm-hmm.
But you also have become an American. And as an American, you have been indoctrinated at some point with Western culture.
All right, so let's say this, right? At what age did your grandmother get married?
I don't know, like both before 25 for sure.
Okay, so it was once upon a time a thing within our culture. This is why, and Rico, let me get you involved in this.
We don't want him involved.
No, we got to involve him because
all right. I was waiting for her to finish.
I like the content that he put out. Right.
Thank you.
For me, right, when I look back at my grandparents to my parents to us today, when I look back at that, I tend to give men the blame as to why society is the way it is today. And the reason why I give the men the blame.
It's the easiest thing to do to give the men the blame. That's why. It's real easy to always blame the men, and that's how you're going to always do it. And there's always going to be weak males out there, but we gotta separate, and just blaming men, that gives the women an easy out, and just saying, oh, well, the men should have, and they should have had more backbone. Man, look, let me tell you something, man. Right? That is a losing argument. It really is. All of society and all of men in society are always trying to make things easier for women. If the women decide to take advantage of it and exploit it, what are you going to do about it, man? You keep blaming the men. You know what I mean? It's just goofy to me, and it just seems like pandering to a certain degree. That's just my perspective, though. You know, let's keep.
If a guy tells you, don't wear that shirt because when you go out, guys are gonna see you. Why is he scared? Because he's looking at other girls wearing the same shit.
Exactly.
So whatever your man is insecure about or doesn't want you doing or blames you for doing, even though you're not doing it, you're not the problem. He's scared that you're gonna do what he's doing to you.
Yeah.
So that would okay.
Yeah.
If a guy tells you, don't wear that shirt because when you go out, guys are gonna see you. Why is he scared? Because he's looking at other girls wearing the same shit.
Yeah, man, that's, you know, that all that makeup and crap again is competition. They're competing with each other, and they're not doing it for men. And a lot of Western culture has turned into women competing with each other, and that's why they look like something that most of us don't want to deal with, right? You know, looking like a whole transformer, and then they project this to us, and they just look funky to me. Like I don't hear women talking about stuff I want to hear, like them talking about washing their ass and taking long baths and different kinds of lotions. No, they're just talking about business, this and that. I bet the heels of their feet are crusty. They're not taking care of themselves. They just seem funky. They got all the verbiage and the online wordplay right, but they don't seem ladylike. I don't care what they're dressed like. I don't care what trends that they don't seem ladylike. They seem funky. Like I don't look at them and be like, man, that woman looks so. I just want to know. I don't want to know nothing about what you got going on underneath them clothes. You look funky. The way you talk is funky. The way you act is funky. It's funky. You know, you can really make yourself real ugly by speaking the wrong kind of way to people and carrying yourself the wrong kind of way. And most of you Western, especially American women, you're speaking to each other the way that you like men. You're speaking to each other and to us the way that you like men to speak to you. And I don't like dudes talking to me, man. I have like one friend. I don't hang out with dudes. I don't fuck with dudes like that. I don't want you acting like one. I don't want you seeming like one. I don't want you carrying masculine energy. What the hell wrong with you? It's whatever. Let's keep it trucking. Trying to get me flagged. All right, let's go ahead and move on to the next.
Women lose value. So your mom, how much is your mom worth? Since women lose value, how much is your mother worth to you? He said,
My mother's a saint. My mother had kids in wedlock, 4 of them. My mother, faithful to the end. You don't get to compare yourself to my mother. That's your problem. Get your trash ass out of here. Trash.
If you talk about a man and everything that's coming out of their mouth is negativity, it would behoove you to separate yourself from that woman or those women. Because interestingly enough, a lot of people want to see you doing good, but never better than them. They want to be the one that's the leader in the friend group. They want to be the one that has the highest relationship. They want to be the one that's like, oh, you know, you guys got it going on, or you guys are perfect for each other. They don't want that to be you. Sometimes they will see the potential and what you guys could have and purposely sabotage it. And sometimes it's not even your friends. It could be your sisters. It could be your mama. It could be your grandmother. It could be anybody. Once I see women who don't have a certain esteem or respect for a man, I already view you a certain way. I already know that we're not going to be able to align. It's more than just women keeping women single at this point. It's more than just women who are defending you if you're going through something. It's way deeper than that. This has gone to like a great level of like, we want to eliminate men indefinitely. If you talk about a man.
That's really what it is. Like, you can see the malice. You can see there is some kind of organized movement, even if there are useful idiots, and there's nothing a man can do, you know, an old school type of man, if you know what I mean, that is appealing to these kind of people. It just seems like everything about you, they're just trying to get rid of. But then they also want you to lay with them as well. So weird ass situation, man. Use you like cattle or like a buck, if you know what I mean.
A good man, but he's not your type.
In certain spaces in your life, you cannot bring that type with you. If you see that all other characteristics and behaviors are good, why does the type even matter? You can learn to love this person in other spaces outside of what you see as far as physicalities. If you're talking about a type because maybe your type has a certain type of demeanor, or maybe your type looks a certain type of way, what is going to matter when you start facing conflict? The way they look. When you start going through communication barriers, the way they look, that's not going to matter. Majority of people who have probably married or entered into healthy relationships, they weren't worried about a type. When they got to a certain space, they were worried about what it is that you can actually bring into my life.
A good man, but he's not your type.
In certain spaces in your
Yeah. Well, I can tell you this. You got to be physically attracted. And the same women that tell you that you don't need to be worried about your man and how he looks will be the same women looking at my black ass working out on TikTok shirtless. Let's talk about it. So yeah. You can listen to that. And I'm thinking she's referencing women being more open to men and not having this type or whatever. But if she doesn't find you attractive, she's settling for you anyway. So do you want to get a woman that's in that I'm settling phase? That means she's washed up and washed out. You want a woman that wants a type and you want to be your type. If you're not her type, you don't want her messing with you. She'll be looking for the next guy as soon as she gets with you, man. No, you want her to like you physically, definitely. Attractive. There's just different ways that people try to frame things when they're trying to get people away from physical attraction. But that's the first thing you see. There's no way to get away from it. It's the very first thing you see. So if you're not appealing to that person, trying to learn to find them appealing it's complicated. You got to be a strong person. And most women don't have that kind of strength. I'm just being real. I'm just being real. But I'm not going to hold y'all. That's enough. That's 26. I'm about to go live on TikTok and then going live outside whenever the rain slows down. It's cold as I'll be, but I got something for that. Anyway, y'all, love and light. Go ahead and hit that like button, subscribe, share the live stream, and let's chop it up in the comments. Do you agree, disagree? Let's talk about it, right? To that troll, did you get what you want? Did it work out like you planned on it? Did you get the attention you thought you would? Yeah, that's what I thought. Love and light, I'm your brother, and I'm out.